Hello, beautiful strangers. That's Glenn.
That's Casey.
And we are Stranger, Are You Smiling? It's so sweaty today. It's so hot up here.
It is.
So, Glenn, if you could recommend that people do one thing this week, what would you suggest that they do?
I would say watch Killer Concept. I was thinking Save the Orphans or like adopt a
Which orphans?
animal.
Get specific. If you don't have a specific goal, don't suggest it. Killer Concept, that's specific. Talk more on that. What's Killer Concept?
That's a movie that we made. We make movies.
That's right, but for the purposes of this interview, I am not your co-worker and co-star.
Okay.
I am just a removed reviewer and media personality talking to you about Killer Concept.
Okay. All right. Well, Killer Concept is a film that we made, a dark comedy, about three individuals in a small town writing a horror script that is based on murders that are unsolved in their own town. But what two of the three do not know is that one of them is closer to the murders than they realize. Scary, funny stuff.
You memorized that synopsis very impressively.
Thank you.
That's
I took weird pauses for emphasis.
And who do you play in the movie?
I play Mark, a homely young chap.
Tell us more about him.
So
maybe there's some information
well,
that people will get within the first few minutes of the movie.
There is, and I feel like since you're watching this and you're a dedicated fan of our channel,
you probably stopped this video and went straight to watch Killer Concept, and now you're back watching this.
We're going to give you a spoiler now, and it's bonus. And it happens in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
But out of those three individuals, Mark, which I play, is the murderer. Mm-hmm. Casey, who do you play?
I play Holly, but not in this interview.
No. And then our good friend Coley Bryant plays Seth, the third wheel of this deadly three-wheeler. Thought there was a different word for three-wheeler, but that's just what they call them. They're dangerous. So,
tell me a little bit about filming in the middle of COVID, which is when you guys made this movie.
You're literally interviewing me.
Yeah, how did you work around that?
Well, we had a small group of people inside of our own bubble. About 5 individuals that
you saw each day?
That we saw quite often. Out of the people that we were going to see in the world, those were in our
out
small circle.
Out of all the crew, you were around these 5 people?
Yes. Yeah.
Out of the massive crew that it takes to make a movie?
I see what you're saying. No,
okay.
we didn't have the massive crew.
Okay,
Casey,
I got you.
not Casey. No, we didn't have that.
I'm just another Casey.
We had another Casey. We had 5 people, for the most part, primarily, each day. 3.
Name them.
Casey, Coley, Glenn, Puckett, Caleb.
Boom. That was our cast and crew. And if you see their names over and over again in the credits, just know that they earned that title.
Yes.
We had a few people that popped in and out. Or
did.
so I've heard.
We did. We had a few others. Caroline, Maddie, Samantha, and some others that showed up and helped us out on certain days. But yeah, for the most part, just 5 people. And that's very challenging. And it was very experimental. So,
directing and acting
Yeah.
is probably pretty stressful. Was it hard for you to memorize all the lines?
It wasn't, because I didn't memorize any of them.
Do tell.
Well, we improvised this movie.
Okay.
So we came up with a basic outline of each scene, and then we did an improvised rehearsal, and we said, that's cool, this is not cool, and then we'd do it maybe a second time, and then we'd roll. And that was how we did it. There was no written dialogue other than one scene.
So obviously, you and Casey Dillard have done a lot of improv together. Is Coley also an improviser?
Coley is not a full-time improviser, but he did a fantastic job. He has some improv skills.
So he is now an improviser.
Yeah, well, he definitely got some work in.
Okay.
That's for sure. But he doesn't do it normally, routinely.
Now, you played a murderer.
I did. Spoiler again.
If you could kill any of your 3 exes, because he killed 3 people in this, pick the 3.
Right now?
I can ride out this pause as long as you can. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. So, did you put a lot of thought into, tell me about your crafting of this character and what that was like for you?
Well, because this was a different type of story and we didn't spend a year writing the script, I decided not to dive headfirst into research on serial killers or anything like that. I mean, you read little stuff here and there, but no deep dives to where you lose a lot of sleep. So my main concern was figuring out who he was, what his backstory was to me to a certain extent, and then sort of trying to be true to that, and then play every scene as sincere as possible. Whether I succeeded or failed, you let me know in the comments after you watch it.
You mean in the reviews?
Well, now in the comments on here, but yeah.
Leave us an official review.
Yes. You can watch this on Amazon. Yeah.
Is it on Tubi yet?
Not yet, but it will be. It'll be.
It'll be on other platforms.
Yeah.
So I have heard.
So I've heard.
Switching back into myself here a little bit, I will say that I feel like playing Holly and Seth in some ways was a little bit easier because the nature of the story forced us to leave their characters a little less clearly defined because the audience, along with Mark, gets to kind of interpret their responses however they want. And it's been interesting seeing how people do that.
Well, so far we've had several really nice reviews. Thank you to those fine folks. But I mentioned that because there was one, I don't know if you've even seen it yet because I haven't mentioned it to you, but they talked about you doing a very nice job as Holly, but it said something about how she almost felt like she had a chip on her shoulder, like she had been burned before by somebody in a situation, or she had.
If you've worked in a creative field more than 3 years, you've been burned by somebody. So that's pretty on point. Insightful reviewer.
List the top 3 times you've been burned by somebody locally, if you can, and names and addresses would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you gonna bleep this out?
Nah, I don't want to do that much work. Just don't say it. Don't say it. Stop.
And anyway, killer concept. I thought you did a really good job in it. Like I know that there were times when you were more distracted than others, but you were also carrying the bulk of it. What was your favorite scene to film?
Oh, the last scene comes to mind because did we film that at the end? I think we kind of saved that near the end, didn't we?
It was close. No, we definitely went back and filmed a bunch of fill-ins and inserts. But I think the last one was pretty close.
Well, because the stage is set.
Yeah.
The location is literally set, and it's a little different than the rest of the movie, and the 3 of us get to just sort of tear into it.
Yeah, that was cool.
So that was cool.
I think my favorite scene to film was the flower shop one.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Partially because Roscoe the parrot was in the background, and that was really cool. And I think we had Georgia on set that day. That was kind of fun. And Caleb was just very funny in that scene.
He was.
And Puckett. I think somebody gave us props for best use of middle finger in a scene, and that was Caleb and Puckett. So good job, guys. And if y'all don't know what we're talking about, go watch it.
You should watch it.
Is this just a long advertisement for our movies? Who cares? Mind your own business.
Yes,
the point is, it's available, and you should watch it.
And here we have a special guest coming in any moment now. So let's count it down, and then we're going to have the guest.
Okay.
It's going to be like magic. Watch this.
3, 2, 1.
All right, we want to welcome a special guest. Rod here is the representative for Coley Bryant. What is the agency name that you work for again, Rod?
Fur Flying.
Fur Flying. Okay. Well, we're very excited to have you here. We had a couple questions. We know Coley's very, very busy.
Sorry, do I look okay?
You look great.
I thought there was going to be hair and makeup.
No, we don't have hair and makeup.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, Coley chose not to be here today for some unspoken reason. Could you give us a little insight into that, maybe?
Well, I, Coley Bryant, was planning on being here today. It meant so much to me. But I had a spider in my hat at work all day. And didn't know it till recently.
Wow.
And it's taken a lot out of me.
Okay.
But I got it together and I was here. And that's what's important.
Thank you, Rod, not Coley. Okay, well...
I was answering that
as Coley, I understand.
That's why he couldn't be here.
I apologize. So what would you say was the most interesting part of the film for Coley?
I am inclined to say wearing gold jewelry.
He did wear gold jewelry.
It's very off-brand. Mr. Bryant generally does not wear precious metals.
Yes, Mr. Bryant, yes.
Correct.
And he invested quite a bit into that bracelet, if I'm not mistaken.
He did, because that's how much he cares about your project, Glenn.
Thank you.
And that's how much he will care about every project.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Coley. Mr. Bryant,
this is very important for anyone listening. Coley is wildly talented. Please cast him.
We don't really
and get me my cut.
We don't really use that microphone that much.
Oh.
It's more the one above you.
To all of your millions of subscribers, please watch Coley Bryant.
But the thing is,
hey bud, listen.
We have small number of followers.
Oh.
I mean, they're great. The ones we have are great, but there's not.
Thank you so much for having me today. It was a delight to represent Coley Bryant here, representing the film Killer Instinct.
No, that's a video game.
Oh,
that's a
concept. Killer Concept. Playing the role of Seth. It meant a lot to him.
Yes, clearly. Yeah.
And he can't wait to work with Greg and Stacy again. Thanks for being here,
I think that's good. I think we're good.
Yeah. Wow. Truly a rare talent.
That's something. Mm-hmm. I wonder how he got hooked up with that representative.
I don't know. You know, he almost died from a spider bite today.
The rep?
No, Coley.
Oh.
Not really. I don't think he got bitten, but he did have a spider in his hat. So everybody think kind thoughts for Coley because he's having a rough day. And with that being said, please stream Killer Concept. Like this video, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you. And keep smiling. Have a beautiful day.
Bye, strangers.
All right, let's do this puppet thing.